Well, the 5th season of the Red Devils Rising gets underway with us looking for upper mid-table respectability. We didn't have a huge transfer budget, we didn't have a huge wage budget, but we brought in quite a few players who I think are going to make that possible. All of that in a game today against VfL Wolfsburg, and we shall get our 5th season underway. My name is FM21, and this is the Red Devils Rising. So we're going to start here on the released players. Valerio Labriola, Ibrahim Medifu, Leon Shakora, Andre Ivic, Alihan Yildirim, and Bastian Furstein all were released. I tried signing Leon Shakora. He didn't want any part of it, and as a result, he is still out in the woods. This is the DD 2021 skin. I got it off FM Scout, and I really like it, even more so than the skin I was using last season. One of the things that is very cool is he has a version of this skin where you don't have numbers, it's just bars, and you use that in your coaching reports to figure out exactly how good your players are. The other thing he's done is, this is not your standard attribute wheel. The way this breaks down is, and I have to pull up another picture here real quick. It's like the attribute analysis, but it's different in the factors it uses, and I'll give a brief explanation here real quick. So, as an example, IQ is anticipation, decision making, flair, teamwork, and vision. It's also takes into account the off the ball and possession with the ball. Key is passing, crossing, dribbling, first touch, technique, composition. There's a couple other things that go into it. There's actually I'll link to his website where he has this explained, but it's a little bit more descriptive in what the players can do. I'm really liking it. I don't understand all of it some of the times. I literally took a screenshot of it and put it up as a JPEG. You know what? Can I add that here real quick? Let me see. I can. It's going to be over here on the left. Let me see if I can't resize this real quick, because George is banging on the door. So I'm going to leave this up for a second. Y'all can take a look at that. I'll also link down to the website where I got this from, and his page as well. It's a really good skin. One of the things I like about it is that, you know what, George is banging on the door. Let me get that. We'll come back and talk about this. So anyhow, I'm going to take this off here. One of the things I like about this skin is that it's dark, but not too dark. I mean, it's not, it's a little bit purple, but it's not too purple. It's very clean in terms of the fonts and the numbers and the size. I have not exactly a non-standard monitor. It's a 34-inch widescreen that's curved, so I'm not exactly using it on a 1920 by 1080 exposure, but it's very nice. It's very clean. It's very readable. The colors work really well. The layout's very nice. I don't have a ton of issues with the layout. Most of my stuff is minor quibbles, like the training stuff here. It's not color-coded. That's a me thing more than anything else, because I associate the training with the color coding and so on and so forth. The player, the player names and that, the player pages are really well done. The tactics screen is really nice. I'm not quite sure what's going on with some of my players' faces not showing up. But anyhow, this is all very nice. Danny, I want to say his name's Daniel, but it's Danny Dots, is real responsive to, I believe he posted, I got this off FM Scout, but I know he also posted on FM Base and a couple other websites as well, and he's really quick with the answers and so on and so forth. But this is a really nice skin. Now, the big drawback for me, because I'm running a lot of experiments concurrently, is that there's no instant result button, but that's just a minor quibble. Some of the experiments I just switched to the base skin and we go from there. So Anyhow, back to the transfers. So these were released players. A couple of them do have potential, but a couple of them wanted a ton of money to stay, or more money than I was willing to pay to have them stay here. And others just, they weren't happy here, and they weren't going to get a lot of playing time. I tried loaning them out last season, and some of them didn't want to go. And as a result, you know what? You can go out and find a team on your own. I'm perfectly okay with you trying to do that. Our transfer budget was literally like 22 million euros, and our payroll budget was 713,000 euros. We're currently spending 671,000 euros. So we're doing really well. I did increase the scouting budget. I am scouting a lot more, and it's really showing. It's literally been about 4 days since I recorded the last episode, and the intervening 3 days have all been spent on this off season. It's been, holy cow. The free transfers. On the outs, David Michael went to Ingolstadt on the free. On the ins, we were really, really busy here. We got a lot of really good players at the end of their contracts, and thankfully, a lot of them decided to come here. First up, Oliver Skipp, the Tottenham midfielder. Also plays defensive midfielder. If I played defensive midfielder, I'd be playing him there a lot more often, but I have him playing midfielder. He's a very good ball-winning midfielder and a capable deep-line playmaker. He's solid physically. He's decent mentally. I love the 17 bravery. The 13 determination is nice. There's no real weaknesses in his game from a mental and physical point of view. He's just not outstanding. And I say that a lot in a lot of my saves. You know, solid if unspectacular, but he's a little bit better than solid. His dribbling isn't bad. His finishing is a bit low. His long throws are low. His penalty taking is low. But, you know, he's a midfielder. His job is going to be to hold the midfield. And he's come in and he's done a nice job for us so far. I like him because he's also on a very nice contract, 26,500 euros on a regular starter contract. You know, I can't complain about that. Logan Pye comes to us from Man United. He is a young defensive left back who was transfer listed, or who Man United let his contract lapse, and we picked him up. So physically, he's very good and could get better. He has nice acceleration, agility, pace, and stamina. His strength isn't too bad either. Mentally, he's really good where it counts, where I like them to count. Positioning, teamwork, work rate, determination, concentration, anticipation, they're all nice. Everything else is nice as well. I mean, you know, when a 9, well, I guess, what am I looking at? A 7 vision, that's a little bit on the low side, but we can work with that. Technically, the 12 crossing and 13 first touch are very, very nice. The 11 marking, 12 tackling are also nice. So is the 12 passing and 13 technique. He will get a decent amount of starts on the left. He will be coming off the bench in a lot of games, and in some of the other games where we're playing maybe opponents not as good as us, he will definitely be getting some starts. He's been capped 9 times for the England under-21 squad, and I think if he keeps improving, he could get some international caps on the senior squad as well. Kingsley Chidi comes to us from Cadiz B, a 18-year-old advanced midfielder on the right, who we immediately turned around and loaned back out. You'll see that here on the outs here a little bit. Wanted $4,500 a week. They let his contract lapse, and I'm not quite sure why. Physically, other than his strength, he is very good to the point of being really, really good. Really good acceleration, really good agility, really good pace. If his balance and his stamina pick up, he will be really good. Mentally, I like the determination and the off the ball. The teamwork and composure and anticipation of 10 is nice. Everything else needs to be worked on, including his bravery. Technically, the crossing is a little bit low, you know, but his dribbling is good. His first touch is good. His passing is nice. His technique is brilliant. You know, a 16 technique at 18 years old, he's only going to get better. And I turned around and loaned him back out to get him first team playing time. Martin Spadierski from Man United. 21 years old, they let his contract lapse. I'm not quite sure why. I saw that his contract was coming up. I took a look at him. I really liked what I saw. You know, I have maybe not an abundance of good midfielders, but I have an overabundance of solid midfielders. And the thing I liked about Spadierski is that he can also play a couple of the positions really, really well. Physically, he's solid across the board. Mentally, he's very good where it counts. Even where he's not really good, he's still pretty solid. I mean, solid. I'm saying that a lot. Good grief. I need to learn how to say that in German. I'm going to keep using it a bunch. Technically, you know, what can I quibble with? He's got 14 technique, 12 tackling, 13 passing, 15 first touch, 11 dribbling. Okay, so his crossing and his finishing aren't the best. He's a midfielder, for crying out loud. He's a very good deep line playmaker. That's where we're going to be playing him at more often than not. But I do anticipate bringing him in at defensive left back every once in a while, should the need arise. Luca Renieri is an Italian who comes to us from Fiorentina. They let his contract lapse, and he didn't sign with anyone else. I brought him in, liked what I saw. 3-star current ability, 3.5-star potential ability. Defensive left back, can also play defensive center back. That's the big reason I brought him in, was that he can play both those positions really, really well. He's been capped at the under-21s for Italy, but he's not going to make the senior squad. Again, one of those players who comes in, knows what he needs to do, and does it. He's not here on the biggest contract. He knows he's a squad player, so he's not going to be agitating for playing time. He's someone I can start or keep on the bench, and he will do a solid job for us. Isaac Cortez comes to us from Paranus, 17 years old. They let him go. And I needed depth on my youth squad. And frankly, he's a dude. I don't know that I would have signed him otherwise, but he's not here long term. One of the things the board is very upset with is the fact that I am not using homegrown talent for the youth. For the youth system. And the problem is the German youth system is really, really good. It's really, really developed, and all the really, really good teams go after all the really, really good youngsters. So, if I find a good youngster and Bayern finds a good youngster, 97 times out of 100, that kid's going to Bayern. And that's just the way it is. And frankly, I'm almost positive I skipped over this at the end of last season. Our youth intake last season was horrible. I mean, the best kid was 3-star potential, and it was just not good, to the point where I went to the board and I believe I asked them to upgrade a few those. Yeah, they're devastated, and I'm not signing players from the lower levels of the domestic game. The problem is those players just aren't very good. And they're also disappointed I'm not spending the original transfer budget. So the transfer window just closed. I'm holding out up for the January transfer window just because I want to see who is out there and whether or not we need to bring anyone in to help us improve. So facilities, we got good training facilities, great youth facilities, adequate academy coaching, adequate recruitment. So I wonder. We're going to ask to increase the youth recruitment. We're going to ask to increase the youth facilities. I believe they're working on the training facilities. We got a note that said that the technology's progressed where the training facilities are no longer adequate. And I went to them and they were like, yeah, we'll keep up with the Joneses, or keep up with the Schmidts, I guess it were. I don't know what the most common last name in German is. It's one of those things I could probably look up. But Braulio Barrios comes to us from Chivas Los Angeles. This is kind of odd to me. I have America loaded and the MLS loaded, but for some reason it loaded in a lot of lower division teams. I believe these guys are in Mexico, or they're part of they're in Mexico, they're in Puebla, but there's like teams I've never even heard of. And I'll be the first to admit I'm not up to date 100% on the state of football, at least European football in America, but they've got players on teams that are like, okay, and they got crests and official looking uniforms and everything. So I don't know if it's just a database issue or what. Comes to us, 18 years old, just another guy. I did kind of decimate my 18s and under 23s, just letting players go who didn't have a future here. And he was available. Anthony LaCroix comes from Trenzi, 20 years old, kind of in the same boat, although he has a chance to be a starter for us. He's 2.5-star current ability, 5-star potential ability. Physically, he's not the greatest, but he's good. He can get better. Mentally, I love the 17 bravery. The concentration, decision-making are nice. The positioning is nice, as is the work rate. George has decided to eat, of course. So the determination is solid. Technically, he could get better, and that's where he's being trained on. His marking and tackling are nice. His technique is okay. If some of these others, such as his crossing or dribbling, improve, he will be a very, very good player for us. He could at least get time as a squad player, especially if he improves the next couple of years, like I'm hoping he will. Luis Alberto Troyba comes to us from Basandar. They're a Spanish team, like 4th division of Spanish football. Gifted physically. For an 18-year-old, he's fast, he's pacey, His stamina and strength kind of let him down. He does have decent natural fitness, though. Mentally, he's kind of all over the place. I love the work rate. The off-the-ball needs work. The determination is okay. Composure, bravery, and aggression are nice, but the 4 concentration and 4 positioning and 5 vision are just, they really, really hurt him. Technically, he needs to get better, and I think he could get better. The issue is, will he get better? And the answer is, I don't know. But we're definitely going to keep him on the under-19s and possibly loan him out in a couple years to see how he does turn out. But the nice thing is, all these players are here on a free, and if they don't turn out, we're not really losing anything on them. And if we do get anything back for them, that's just icing on the cake, as it were. Mourinho Ditolo is a defensive midfielder who is not the best physically. He's not the best mentally. He's not the best technically, but he's 17 years old, and he's improving in almost every area. He's got really good jumping reach that doesn't really go with his 6 heading. He's got good vision, excellent determination, really good decision making. Everything else is improving. He's got 12 passing, 12 technique already. He's a very good central midfielder and could be a very good deep line playmaker. At 17 years old, we hold on to him for 3 or 4 years. We see where he's at. We sign him to another contract, loan him out. Push comes to shove, we move him on for a decent chunk of change. Edouard Cholet comes to us from Tours. Needed a youth striker, and for some reason, they let him go. Now, he's 1-star current ability, 3-star potential ability. That means he will probably never, ever see first-team playing time here. And I'm okay with that, because I need youth strikers. I need guys. I need bodies. One of the things that's actually driving me up a wall is, like as an example, Anthony LaCroix is on the under-19 squad. Martin Sosa is on the under-19 squad. If I want him, and somehow he was made available for the under-19 squad, I didn't make him available for the under-19 squad. If I want to take him off the under-19 squad, what I have to do is go here and right-click on him, go to squad, move him to like the Kaisersalutern 2 squad. Oh, can't have any non-U players. Okay, so I have to move him to the under-19 squad. Now he's going to pitch a fit because for some reason he got moved to the under-19 squad. So he's right here, see slight concern. I have to take him back here, right-click on him, and move him back to the senior squad. And then, pow, he goes back to the senior squad. And he's still slightly concerned. Now, I'll get a message about it probably next time I hit continue. But it's just annoying. I mean, I've got like DeCurry and Bailey, players like that who don't need to be on the under-19 squad. So what I really need to do is go here, sort by age, click these guys, put them on the under-19 squad, then turn around and put them back on the senior squad. It's annoying as heck. And for some reason, Anthony LaCroix, he should be on the senior squad. Thomas Hetzke should be on the senior squad. He probably is. No, he's not. But as you can see, I have kind of decimated my under-19s. Let me auto size this here real quick. And then if we look at my B team, it's just my really good 18-year-olds who are actually going to get first-team playing time a lot this season. Most of them. Well, Dressel is. Joel Matty, I sent it on loan. We'll see how it goes. Yeri Almeida is a defensive left back / midfielder / advanced midfielder with potential. Brought him in on trial, liked what I saw, said we'll take a risk on it. Signed him up. He's immediately worth 62,000 euros. He was at Las Palmas, and they let him go. So if he doesn't turn out here, again, came in on a free, no big loss if he leaves, I think. Physically, he's nice. Mentally, he needs improvement. Technically, he needs improvement. And if he does get improvement, I know I can sell him on for a profit. Let's see. Esteban. Another one of those 16-year-olds who was listed. Or another one of those 16-year-olds who was released. Had a really good season last year in the under-19s for Paranus, Atletico Paranus. They are, let me see. Who is their parent club? I'm not quite sure, to be honest with you. I'm sure there's a way to look it up, but Had a solid career. They let him go. He was one of those that I brought in, and they let him come no problem. I like him because physically, he's got good natural fitness. He's got good agility already. Everything else is nice except the stamina and strength. But again, 16 years old, he can definitely improve there. The aggression, the off the ball, the teamwork, the vision, the decision making, they're all really, really good for this level. I don't know why he's going on technically like this already. His 11 dribbling and 11 first touch, 11 passing, and 11 technique are nice. When I have the ability to loan him out, I will loan him out, and he will get a lot of playing time. And I'm almost positive I can turn around and sign him for decent money. Yuri Almeida, he came from... No, he came from Las Palmas. Jacques Renault comes to us from CS Ardennes. They're a third division French team. Defensive center back, 17 years old. Brought him in because he has potential. 1.5-star current ability, 4-star potential ability. Physically, not the best. The natural fitness of 3 is really kind of a bummer. Mentally, solid, fun, spectacular, although the 13 positioning is very nice. Technically, 11 marking, 13 tackling are more than adequate, and everything else is improving. You know, we got him in on a regular training schedule and a full-time contract, and in 2-3 years, he could easily be 3 stars. He could also still be 1.5 stars. Karsten Menzel comes to us from Unterstrasse. 18-year-old striker. He's a body. You know, I mean, really, nothing about this stands out other than the fact that he was really, really cheap. Thomas Hetzke from Cardiff Met United. The mighty Cardiff Met Uni. Defensive midfielder. His contract had expired. I tried bringing him on trial. Cardiff Met said, no, we're not going to let him go on trial. I said, fine, I'll sign him anyways. I brought him in because he's a midfielder and a really good defensive midfielder who plays a really nice ball-winning midfielder. Physically, can definitely prove. Mentally, 19 aggression, 16 bravery, 17 determination, 13 positioning, 15 work rate. What's not to like about that? Well, the 4 off the ball is what not to like. I mean, that's pretty much it. As my hair is all over the place. Tag with it. We'll put the hat on. Technically, he could be a little bit better in some areas. The 11 marking, 15 tackling are very, very nice. The passing, the dribbling, the corners, and things like that, they're on the low side, but that's something I hope to improve on. He's currently injured, which is a little bit of a bummer. I think this just happened. So he's out 4 weeks or so. Fractured ribs. Serhat Ozkaya. I brought him in because of his versatility more than anything else. 19 years old. Physically, he's good. He can definitely get better. Mentally, he's very good where I like it. Decision-making, determination, positioning, work rates, all very nice. Composure, concentration, anticipation. A little bit on the low side. Could be a little bit better. Technically, the crossing is low. That's going to hurt him, but we'll train him up on that. Marking and tackling are nice. The passing is okay. The technique's okay. Those can get better as well. And then last but not least, Nikola Zlewski, 22 years old, needed some help on the advanced midfield line. I brought him in because he can play all 3 positions. Physically, he's okay. Mentally, he's good where it counts. And the 7 determination has been on the low side for me, so is the 6 positioning, but everything else is definitely doable. He comes in as a fringe player. He'll get some time. He's going to be a bench player more than anything else. I don't know that he'd be getting starts, but he's one of those guys I can bring in off the bench, and he'll do an adequate job for us. I wouldn't rely on him to be a full-time starter, but technically, he's not bad. If some of his physicals and some of his mentals were better, you can say this about a lot of players actually, he'd be a first-tier player. As it is, he's 2-star current, 3-star potential ability, and he knows he's here essentially as a fringe player. Loan deals. Joe Matty, Kingsley Cheedy, Eric Science, Marco Hand, Jan Zivkak, and Glenn Wright all went out on loan. All of them have at least some or most of their salary being covered, with the exception of Zivkak and Ray. On the ends, I need a striker help up top. Fiorentina put Louis Montano out. Now, he was kind of the wonder kid last year in FM20. He came from, it wasn't Stoia Bucharest, it was Vitorial. And in many cases just had a ton of potential. Now, for whatever reason in this save, his potential ability was maybe a bit on the low side. He's 2.5-star current ability, 4-star potential ability. He's 22 years old. Physically, he's good and getting better. Mentally, he's good and getting better. Technically, he's good and getting better. It's amazing what happens when you get into a full-time training program. I don't know what he's been doing at some of these other places, but he's improved this much already, and he's been here all of 6 weeks, if that. So physically, good but not dominating. Mentally, good but not dominating. Technically, good but not dominating. He's here as a third striker. He'll get some starts. He'll be part of the rotation. I can't argue with it. And frankly, if he does a decent job, I'd probably make an offer for him. So, on the outs, cash and clause transfers. Ben Shackleton went to Southampton for 700,000 euros, going up to $1 million. He wasn't happy here. I tried getting him out on loan again. He didn't want to go. He demanded first-team playing time here, and he's a couple years away from being a first-team playing time player. He wanted an important player contract. I wasn't going to give it to him. Turned around, sold him to Doncaster, and they in turn, or Southampton rather, they in turn turned around and loaned him to Doncaster, which was actually one of the teams that was after him when he was on my squad. So make of that what you will. Pelayo Ortiz went to Bochum for 105,000 euros, going up to 120,000 euros. He was a youth goalkeeper who wasn't going to be anything really. He was never going to see a start here. Thomas Anderson went to SV Werder for 1.7 million. Kind of lost in the midfield shuffle. Solid, but 17 years old. Was going to be a while before he saw any playing time here. And frankly, the money was just a little bit too nice to turn down. I mean, for somebody we brought in on a free from Thisted after Midtjylland, we turned around and sold him to Werder for 1.7 million. And then Hugo Vallejo went to Borussia Mönchengladbach. He's a good player. Chances are I would be starting him if he was still here. Borussia made an offer for him, and he totally jumped at it, and I'm not going to stand in his way. We brought him in on a free. We turned around, sold him for 4.5 million. And then our one in was Zadas from Toulouse, 2.7 million. Needed some depth at the advanced midfield line. Needed somebody who could play a lot of positions. More often than not, he's going to be a squad player. He's here on a squad player contract. He will get starts, though. He'll be on the bench almost every game. As you can see, he's made 1 start and 2 appearances. Again, solid, unspectacular. Physically, mentally, technically. He's got a few things that are on the low side, the 10 tackling, 7 marking, but, big deal. He's an advanced midfielder. Mentally, okay, the 10 positioning, I'd like that to be a little bit better. The aggression, I like a more aggressive player, but I'm definitely getting my money's worth for what I paid for him and the 16.5 thousand euros a week I'm paying for him. He's definitely a quality player for that price. And you've made a lot of moves when you got to scroll down on either side. So we sold 7 million, we brought in 2.7. As I mentioned earlier, that still leaves us 20.7 or essentially 20 million euros in the bank. And I upped the scouting budget. One of the things I did this season was I upped our package to world tier. So these are our potential future transfers here. Young players on squads where they are not exactly established, but potentially if they do make a move, we'll get a notification that they're being looked at. Problem is, jolly enough, I've got plenty of advanced midfielders on the left. So the transfer window just ended, and the season's got off to about the start I expected. We absolutely dominated in our friendlies. That was to be expected. I do the thing in the friendlies now where the assistant manager takes control, and I set the formation I want them to use, and then I just clear the roster, and the assistant manager does everything after that, and everybody gets playing time, so everybody improves. We got the season off to a nice start against the enemy of the people, Hertha Berlin, a 4-2 victory. Maga Hollis, Twazi, De Graca, and Skip with goals. RB Leipzig absolutely thumped us 3-0. It wasn't a game. They had 2 goals in the first 15 minutes. And then against Eintracht Frankfurt, we held them until the 56th minute, and then they got 2 goals in 5 minutes. This was a game that we had a chance of winning, and we just let it slip through our fingers. We had 9 shots, 3 on target. They had 17 and 6. We had our chances. We just had too many players, had too many bad games. Skip and Francisco in particular. The defensive back four, Mazzini, were solid. But it's just the way it happens. It's early enough in the season, though, that I'm not too worried about it. So today, we're going to play Wolfsburg. I am going to double-check the best 11, set the reserves, and we're going to come back with that match in just a bit. Well, this is new. Danny put out an updated version of his scan, and he added an instant result button. Very, very nice. I like it. So we've got Mazzini goal. Magahalis, Jamelkas, Bejker, and Felicioli are the defensive back four. Seversky and Skip are the starting midfielders today. Francisco and Nabil Tawazi are the attacking midfielders. Gubbel and De Graca, as always, are up top as the strikers. So we are playing our 4-2-4, of course. What are they playing? 4-2-3-1. Oh, they got Cleavert. It's a good squad. Ginter to Arnold to Schmidt out to Cleavert on the left. He breaks inside, goes around one, goes around two, and opening highlight kickoff. Opening kickoff highlight results in a goal less than a minute in. 25 seconds, and I really don't want to see that again. Felicioli on the throw-in to De Graca. Back to Skip. De Graca's there off the post. Francisco's there right at Krapicus. Man. We had our chance there. The post just... Are they counting that as a woodwork hit? I don't know. The match stats over here won't let me change them. They're hard-coded. Half hour in, we'll tell the guys to be encouraged. Oh, Francisco steps in front of that. Gubbels is dispossessed, but Francisco's going to recover. Oh, he's dispossessed. Schmid, well, okay. Schmid loses it. Spadierski gets it. Back and forth. Now Francisco finally ends up with it. Feeds Gubbels. Oh, right at the keeper. Knocked away. Felicioli ends up with the ball, and the highlight ends. Jamelka on the free kick. Skip. Oh, feeds to Graca. Very nice pass. Can he round the keeper? No, he cannot. And that is the half. We are down 1-0 thanks to a first minute, literally a 25-second goal off the opening highlight. Other than that, it's been a very even game. A couple players having subpar games, but that's okay. Haber. Back to Haber. Out to Oleg on the left. Cleavert and Mazzini, a very nice stop. He throws it out to Skip. Long pass to Francisco. He cuts inside. Feeds Gubbels. One-on-one with the keeper. And he puts it far post, and we equalize. Had a Chinese club make an offer for Mazzini, and he was absolutely not interested in talking to them. So, and my philosophy is, if the player's not interested in talking to them, I'm not going to even entertain the offer. If it's one of those cases where, even if I'm looking the player to move on, I'm not going to try and force him to go to a team he doesn't want to go to. Oh, that was a quick highlight. Oleg, baseline. Oh, Mazzini, nice save. Holds it up. Jamelka to Skip. Out to Tawazi. Feeds to Graca, got behind the defenders. Can he take his shot? He can. He absolutely buries it. His third goal of the season. That was really nice ball movement. We caught them, I don't want to say flat-footed, but they definitely were not prepared for that sort of vertical movement. Nice first touch by De Graca. Slipping between the defenders. Absolutely buried it. Okay, after this highlight, we're going to make a couple of changes. Skip steps in front of that ball, knocks it away. Arnold recovers. Out to Haber. To Arnold. Oh, Tawazi steps in front of that, but he gives the ball away to Ginter, who sends it to Arnold. Tawazi again intercepts it, gets the ball to Spadierski. Out to Francisco. Long pass to Graca. Tries to feed Gubbels on the right. He does. He cuts back inside, centers it. De Graca can't get it. It bounces off of him and bounces to Martin Spadierski, who gets his first goal of the season. That was really well done. Okay, that was really well done, but it was also really, really lucky. Very, very nice. So we're going to make a couple of changes here. We're going to get Jamelka off and bring on Renieri. We're going to get Bejker off and bring on Dressel. And we're going to save our last sub for the moment. Okay, 75 minutes in, no highlights since the last substitution. So we're going to get Gubbles off and bring on Montano. Flikioli to De Graca. Twazi, dispossessed by Vagneman. Gives the ball away, though, to Dressel, who sends it all the way back to Mazzini. That was kind of dangerous. He gets it to Renieri, taps it up to Spadierski, to Montano. Magahalis to Francisco. On the right. Breaks right, keeps going, gets around the defender, crosses it in, Montano's there, and he scores. Although he may have been offsides. No, he wasn't. Okay. There's Francisco. There's Montano there. Yep, he broke just right. That was well done. Angle was a bit steep, but he made it work. The good news is I look like a tactical genius by doing that, so. Renieri knocks that ball away. Francisco. And the ref got in his way. Oh, Schmid broke free, but right at Mazzini. Magahalis. Long pass across the field to Flikioli. Taps it to Twazi. Up to Skip. And De Graca got by Ginter. Ginter looks like he went for the tackle and just absolutely muffed it. Yeah, Ginter went for the ball and just missed it. It's De Graca's second goal. Turned in a really good game. Although they have too. They've had 17-12. We've had 16-10. Mazzini to Renieri. Can't get it to Montano. Arnold ends up with it, gets it to Rashica, but his pass is errant, ends up in Mazzini's hands. He throws it out to Twazi. Oh, nice first touch. Long pass across the field to Montano, got behind the defender. Can he get a second? No. Krapicus stands tall and punches that over the crossbar. Rashica on the breakaway. Goes right, dispossessed by Flikioli. I'm almost positive I'm pronouncing that wrong. Flikioli on the throw-in. To Twazi, headed away. Arnold runs it down for Wolfsburg. Gets it to Schmid. He feeds. Oh, he tried feeding Camildon, but Magahalis stepped in front of it. De Graca, nice first touch. Back to De Graca. Oh, he loses the ball. Vangeman just kicks it away. Ranieri's going to run it down. He bumps it up to Ilarugi, who gives it away because he was caught off sides. Okay. Well, the whistle should be blown. And the whistle does blow. That was a really good come from behind win for us. Although, in all honesty, it doesn't really count as come from behind. Well, I guess it does. I mean, they scored in the first minute and they didn't do anything afterwards. Really even game, stats-wise. Gubbles, a goal. De Graca, brace of goals. Spadierski, a goal. Montano, a goal. Everybody had a solid game. Take a look at the match stats, see how many woodwork hits we had. You know, we had one woodwork hit, one clear-cut chance, and 2 half chances. All in all, not a bad turn of events. We are going to take... Oh, I probably should have played a couple more games. I don't want a huge break between that. So I'm going to have quite a decent break. We're going to get these 5 games out of the way, come back for Augsburg and our Pokal match against Greuther Fürth. And then, it's back to upper mid-table respectability. It's early enough in the season that you can't really pull the league table up over here. I mean, you can't really take anything away from it. So, in another 6 to 10 games, I think we'll know where we stand, and we can go from there. So, but a very good win for us. It was nice to get back on the winning side of things. The transfers, I think we did really well. I'm happy with the fact we got as many quality players as we did, as many solid contributors as we did, especially on freeze. that leaves us, $20 million is enough to sign 2 decent or 1 good player, who may be the difference between us finishing top 6 and top 12 this season. So, the board's not happy that I didn't spend all that money right away, but I got the January transfer window to do it in. And I don't want to spend it just because I have it, but we'll have to wait and see what the board says. So that said, if you did like what you've seen and heard, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content, questions, criticisms, comments. Leave those down below. I will answer those as fast as I can. My name's FM21. I thank you for watching.